Hi there, I'm going to talk through a countdown of the top new Canva updates just unveiled at the end of October 2025. But before I get into that, just for those that don't know me very well, I am Marie Louise from Lovely Evolution, and I'm a certified Canva community trainer, that's a recent one, a Canvassador and Canva creator. I've been using Canva since 2017, and I'm a graphic designer with over 20 years experience. In fact, I studied branding and packaging many moons ago. I'm a regular contributor at Brand You magazine with my Canva Corner. I've won awards in talking in front of various people, and I also have my membership called Lovely Canva Club. I also design with my clients one-to-one, so things like logos and branded templates and all of that good stuff. Now on to the countdown. So first up, we have the new forms that Canva has unveiled, and I put forms at the top of the leaderboard of the countdown, as it were, because I think it's going to be a great way for you to be able to capture data. You can insert it into presentations, Canva websites. You can use it in all sorts of ways, and it just means that you can have the ability to have forms without having to go outside of Canva. They've also introduced email, so you can now fully design your emails in Canva, and then you can export it to MailChimp. I think it's integrated with Gmail as well, but you can also extract the design as HTML and insert it in other email providers. You can publish ads as well. There's lots of insights. You can create all sorts of designs, test out the copy, use the Canvas AI to improve the copy. There's all sorts of things like that. So if you are doing ads and you're designing them on Canva, it's now been up-leveled with Canva Ads series of templates and tools. The other thing that I'm super excited about is Affinity. So Affinity was unveiled as being partnered up with Canva, and then it all went quiet. So it joined the team. Affinity joined the team. They are a design software to rival Adobe, and I've been using Affinity for quite a few years now, and most of it I quite like. And in the announcement, they have decided to make Affinity completely and utterly free. The only catch you could say is that it's integrated with Canva, and some of the features you would need to have a Canva Pro account, but you could use Affinity entirely for free. So go check it out if you are wanting to level up your design skills, if you want to do stuff that is more bespoke in terms of creation, go a more professional route. You've got Affinity at your fingertips, and there are lots of integrations with Canva. So I've downloaded it. I haven't had a chance to play to see how this new update differs, whether it's easier to use. I haven't tried out how it integrates into Canva. You can see it's got like a little it integrates with Canva AI, so there's going to be really interesting things happening there. Video has gotten an upgrade, so they're calling it Video 2.0. You've now got a more professional looking, layered look to the editing features of the video. So you've got not only the different pages of your video, you've also got the different animation of text, for example. You could layer different like music and different audio, and it's much more of a layered approach to it, while still being easy to use and quite intuitive. Captions has also had a bit of an update as well. I haven't had a little look to see how it differs from before. I've had some issues with captions for some reason, auto-translating to Welsh despite the person speaking English. So let's hope that the captions are even better. You've also got the ability to link your or capture your data with Canva coded stuff with Canva Sheets. So they're now linked, and this is going to be an absolute game changer, because when Canva Code was launched back in April, there was things that you could test out. You could create sort of mock-ups of all sorts of things, but there was quite a lot of fiddling around to be able to support it, to back it up, to make it work outside of Canva. And now that you've got this integration with Canva Sheets, it means that you can capture data, you can add in your own data to appear in your app or whatever you've created in Canva Code. So that is a massive improvement, and really exciting to see how people use Canva Code going forward. The other thing that is powered up is when you are creating something with Canva AI, you can now add in your brand kit. So this will probably be a pro feature, I would imagine, because of having, opening up all of the brand kit is a pro tool. But I think if we just go back and have a little look, it's as simple as putting in your information in your prompt, and then there's like a little drop down, so you can add in and select which brand kit you want to connect to that. Also, to note that there are also other apps that are going to be integrated or are now integrated into Canva AI. So for example, you can link up with your Google Drive, Dropbox, and also Microsoft's OpenDrive as well. The other thing to be aware of is that the AI generated designs, so using Canva AI, they've called it Canva Design Model, but the idea really is that it's layered. So what it means is that you no longer just have like a flat graphic that is provided as part of like something that you've asked Canva AI to design for you. It's now fully editable. So this is going to be a real game changer, because if it's not quite right, rather than having to reprompt and getting more and more and more frustrated, you can now get the basics in mind, get sort of some ideas going, and then you can change it how you need to. So that's going to be really, really powerful as well. So the other thing here is there is a new tool that I don't have it, I don't see it yet. So that's something to bear in mind, that you might not see all of these tools and new features yet. You might have seen some of them already, because they sort of roll out in the month of October in a sort of phased approach. So this one is you can style match, and this I think is going to be quite a game changer in terms of being able to create a design and have all sorts of different like imagery and graphics in there, and you can now make them all look really cohesive by using this copy the art style tool. I haven't been able to play with it, like I said, because it's not showing in this way with this sort of purpley kind of magic stars showing as yet. So do watch out for that, and I can't wait to play with that. The other thing that I'm really excited about is you can now have gradients on text. I bloody love a gradient. It's part of my brand look and feel, and I think this is just going to really elevate. It's in some ways probably quite a small thing in the grand scheme of all the things that Canva has unveiled, but I think it's going to be a way to just add even more creativity to your text in your designs. The other thing that you've got as well is the ability to generate your own images and graphics and videos, much in the way that you would use like Canva AI, but it's now integrated within your design. So if you're in a design, you can go to the Elements tab and have a little click through, and you can obviously search for different elements, but there's now also a feature to be able to generate your own elements, including this new subsection in Elements, which is 3D. So you can have a little play with that. This is just an example that Canva's provided, and you get to sort of manipulate it in the preview as to which angle you want. Once you click OK or select off, it's then flattened in that position. So just be aware that you can have a little fun play and use it in your design how you want. Following on with that, so this is just showing how you can create your own video as well. So you can put in your own generated AI stuff in there as well. So that's just really up leveled as well in terms of the AI stuff. We've also got Ask Canva as a new feature. So this is the idea of that if you're a bit stuck, and again, rather than having to click on the Canva AI or going outside of Canva into sort of ChatGPT and other, things like that, you can now kind of ask Canva and say, how can I make this image better? How can I make the text better? And it's supposed to be like your design buddy, but within the design page within Canva. So look out for that, the Ask Canva. I haven't tried that yet either, but it'll be interesting to see how much people use that, and like how that's going to help elevate your copy and just make those tweaks and improvements. So it's less about designing from scratch necessarily, but it's more about making improvements and up leveling your designs. There seems to be some really good upgrades with the website. So earlier this year, they introduced the feature to be able to have multi-page websites. But you can now also use Magic Write for SEO. So that was shown an example very briefly in the unveiling. You can now protect your websites with so it's SSO enabled, and I think there was something that came up which said multi-page insights. So I wonder if there is now sort of you're able to track, but I'm not sure if that's to do with websites or whether it's to do with adverts. And next up on the list, we have guided presentations. So that, I presume, is just sort of a bit of up leveling in terms of being able to have your notes, to be able to see like what slides are coming up next. I think there's more features there. I was trying to have a look into that, but I couldn't see exactly what they meant by that. But that is, I think, came from one of the wishes. You can now also do a desktop screen record. So you would need to be able to, I think it's a feature where you have to have the desktop version of Canva. So your own program. They have got Windows and a Mac version. And that's something to, again, sort of be useful if you are looking to do tutorials or you're showing how to do something. You can now use Canva to record that. And the other thing that came out of the wishes was having remote notes. So as I understand that is being able to send your notes to your notes for a presentation, for example, and send it to your mobile phone, and it's almost like a auto cue, so you can read it out if you want to have like a script that you're reading out, and you position it so that you're reading it and your eyes are in the right place. The other thing to be aware of is the brand kit looks a little bit different. They've got the guidelines section. So if you have been working with a designer and they've supplied you with a brand guidelines document, you can upload that straight into there, and it will populate the rest of quite a lot of your brand kit, and you can obviously add more things there. You can add subcategories in terms of things like your different brand elements, and really have all that information in one place, which is particularly useful if you work in a team, if you're like a bigger company, and need to have, I mean, you need to have that brand consistency, whether you've got a small business or a large one or medium size, doesn't really matter. But if you are working with multiple people in the team, you need to make sure that all the designs are following the brand guidelines. The other thing that was unveiled was having the ability to do bulk printing. So I guess they've got some better print prices. So that's printing through Canva. You can now print mailer boxes. So this is an example here of the flat one. You can, it was shown somewhere, another creator gave a demonstration that you can see like a 3D preview of it. I didn't have that option available. So again, that might be something that gets rolled out as part of the like phased approach. And there's also product backdrops. And I didn't fully understand exactly how that differed to, say, like mock-ups, and what that actually meant. So whether that's just to sort of showcase your like things like t-shirt designs or other merchandise. So I will look into that and see how, like what's different there. And then this is just sort of a bit of a screenshot that grabbed from the presentation that they shared and kind of combined it with some of the key things that they were sharing. So other things that they covered was bulk delete, connecting to Canvas. You can also connect to Google Classroom. There's also, you can publish direct to YouTube and Instagram now. What else? There's some upgrades with the sheets, so things like quick calculations and putting things straight into columns and moving things around seems to be a good thing. What else was there? Was there anything? A bulk export? I mean, we've already got that from the Sheets thing, so I'm not sure like what's new about that. The other exciting thing is that you can now also have PDF with passwords, so that's particularly good for if you are, maybe you're creating a document within Canva that is like legal or is something that you don't want publicly available. You could protect it to make sure that as it's being emailed around, that if someone else accesses it, they can't open it unless they've got your password. And then we also have pixel eraser. Again, I wasn't able to see what that actually meant. I think it's to do with the background remover, that you've just got a bit more control with that. But I haven't been able to sort of see what does that actually mean. But I think any upgrades to the background, there are some issues that I have with the background remover. Overall, it's pretty good. But when you want to like fine tune things, so maybe that's what that pixel eraser allows. So I shall be very, very excited to see that once that's ready. And then we've got magic backgrounds here. I think we've had that for a little while, maybe not everybody, but I've had that. That is just sort of a bit like an image generator, but specifically for backgrounds, funnily enough. So that kind of wraps up what I felt were some of the key things that was unveiled in Canva's new product drop, and what I'm most excited about. Some of the things I think are maybe not so relevant to me personally, but I think it's very powerful and some really exciting stuff. So I hope that helps. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in some free training, I do have a mobile app called Build Your Brand with Canva. It's available on Google Play and on Apple, and also on web browsers if you don't want to access it on your mobile. So do subscribe and share this about, and thank you so much.